Hey, what's up, everyone? Before I get into this video about the Russia-Ukraine war and the U.S. response to it, I want to give a shout out to Mary and Wade up in NorCal. Thank you guys for all your support. So let's get into this. What have I been hearing and seeing and reading in the last week or so in regards to the Russia-Ukraine war? Well, I see people talking about that basically the United States response is the equivalent of economic warfare, and that the Russians definitely consider the U.S. to be waging economic war against them. Now, these sanctions and all the economic ramifications, from what I've been hearing, that it has potential to lead to economic geopolitical bifurcation with worldwide ramifications. So the world could be splitting into multiple factions, each with their own financial networks and reserve currency. And this would be a huge mess. So basically, with all the sanctions that the US and Europe are putting on the Russians, and with the various private businesses and corporations uh, doing what they're doing against the Russians. The Russians are basically being pushed into the arms of the Chinese because the Chinese basically saying, "Hey, we got your back." And from what I was hearing, they were saying that there's not really much gain that the U.S. is going to get from all this. It could lead to pushing the U.S. into a shooting war with Russia. So, other worrying things is I'm seeing that the Dallas Fed is saying that global recession is unavoidable. So things just keep going from bad to worse. NATO agreed to double its number of battle groups to 8 in the eastern portion uh, of the alliance over there. And so that's in preparation for a potential chemical or nuclear attack by Russia. And then you had good old numbnuts saying that if the Russians did a chemical attack, the U.S. would respond in kind. Now, to anyone who has somewhat of a grasp of the English language, we know that means that the U.S. is going to respond with chemical attack. And of course, White House had to walk that back, just like they're walking back that shit he said about regime change. And then they said, oh, well, he's speaking from the heart and it's not, he wasn't speaking about policy. Well, as the president of a country, allegedly, the guy should be a bit more careful with his words. Whenever he goes off script, he fucking screws a pooch. And different White House officials always end up walking back whatever it is that he was saying. I heard that Marco Rubio basically said that Russia is going to use a chemical attack. I would think Marco Rubio is privy to some information that most people aren't, so he might know something there. And then I see this thing about good old Hunter Biden. So some firm that he's partnered with over there in the Ukraine had something to do with bio research or something along these lines. And the uh, Barack Hussein Obama Defense Department was funneling money over there for this shenanigans. So who knows what's going on with that shit? But you know, what I thought from the get go, because Russia, I guess their military turned out to be nowhere near as tough as everyone thought they were. But just the fact that they have so much larger numbers than what Ukraine has in terms of soldiers, in terms of uh, weaponry and equipment, that just vastly outnumber. And I forget who originated the saying when it comes to military stuff that quantity has a quality all its own. I think that's a well known saying amongst military folks. But I've thought from the get go that, hats off to the Ukrainians doing such a great job, and it looks like they're actually doing some counteroffensive, counterattacks now. But I think anyone would realize that the official word is that the U.S. and other NATO countries don't have any boots on the ground and aren't going to put any boots on the ground over in Ukraine. But, on the down low side of things, I think that it's pretty obvious that there's special forces types, either from U.S. or the British or multiple NATO countries, or at least intelligence officers, right? CIA types or whatever from different countries over there aiding the Ukrainians to turn this Russian attack back. Um, I think that's, pretty reasonable conclusion to draw based on how things are going for the Russians. And then Biden let something out the other day with regards to that too. I can't remember exactly what it was. Basically, every time that idiot speaks, if he doesn't stick strictly to what they have written for him, he screws things up. He let whatever it was slip. And then there was something last week when he was over there with the troops, something about when he ate with them. I guess the commanders, the higher ups, are always supposed to let the privates eat first, and the higher up in command wait till everyone else got their chow, and that numbnuts just go there and start sucking down his pizza because he's a fucking idiot. You know, these assholes that pulled this shit with the election, fucking, they need to hang. But, I'm not calling for any type of violence or anything. I'm just calling for a little bit more of this Jameson and ginger. So now I'm hearing they're talking about rationing as far as the food and whatnot in different countries and price controls. And we know that this communist regime that we have here in the U.S. now would love to put in place price controls, which, from my understanding, you put in price controls and that just, it's no bueno. But anyways, one guy was saying that when you put in this rationing and price control, it leads to hoarding, which is natural, right? People think that they're only going to be allowed to get a limited amount of whatever it is. They're going to start stocking up. Was stocking up hoarding? I don't know. But I saw earlier today that general that Fox News has on quite frequently for this type of stuff. He was saying that now the Ukrainians are asking the U.S. for, or they're asking for tanks. I don't know if specifically if they're asking the U.S. or NATO or what, but they're asking for tanks. And he was saying basically that the Biden administration, he'd been fucking dragging his heels on getting any type of weaponry or military equipment to Ukraine, like he did with those jets. First he gave them the green light, and then he backed out of that. And this guy's saying that Biden's holding off on all this shit because he wants Putin to win. I don't know if that's the case, but it seems reasonable, right? If you want Ukraine to win, you get him everything ASAP. Biden, he's doing the opposite, dragging his heels and actually preventing that from happening. But anyways, that's what I've been seeing and reading going on with the whole situation over there in the Ukraine. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.